What's up, guys? Dylan Rush here with Cage Side Press, joined today by the number 3 ranked Bellator bantamweight in the world, boasting a 27-4 professional record, set to take on Naoki Inoue at Rizin 42 on May 6th. Former 4 Division KOTC champion, former Bellator bantamweight
Ooh.
champion, Juan the Spaniard Archuleta. How you doing, Juan?
What up, big dog? I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for taking the time, bro. Every time, bro. The first interview, I said 25-4. Last interview, 26-4. Now we're at 27-4. Keep moving along.
Bro, we're about to go 28-4.
Yes, sir. I believe it. So
Yeah, let's get it.
last time I saw you, we were sitting cage side together at Bellator 290. How was it? What was that experience like getting to see Fedor in his retirement fight?
Yeah, it was like a bittersweet thing, because I wanted him to win just like everyone else, but Ryan Bader's a beast, and he got the job done. But I was fortunate to be there and witness it in person. His last hoorah, got to give him a standing ovation and pay
Mhm.
homage to a guy that has laid the way for us.
Of course, of course. So I know you wanted to fight in Japan your whole life. You finally did New Year's Eve last December. Did it live up to expectations? And how were the fans? How was the fan reception there over there in Japan?
Yeah, the expectations of fighting in Japan were like far exceeded what I even thought anything would happen, right? Like going out there and having a badass walkout and the it was so cool because in the beginning people didn't know what I was gonna do. And so I was able to keep it hush hush. And then
Mhm.
when it happened, I just hear everyone gasp for air, like, like, oh man, this is so dope. So I got to pay some homage to the Mexican side of my family, which is awesome because now this fight lands on Cinco de Mayo, so I
Yeah.
get to share some more of my Hispanic culture with the Japanese fans, and they're amazing. Being there fighting and being able to feel their energy and like it was almost like they wanted me to win, but they didn't know because Sucho Kim was part of the Rizin team, but he's been a Japanese destroyer for quite some time now. He's taken out a lot of their Japanese.
Mhm.
So after the fight, they were like, "Thank you so much. We wanted to see him lose," and it was just like, "Heck yeah!" So and I gained a lot of fans out there, and it was amazing to fight in there, and everything from like little kids to grandmas. That's like the genre of MMA education out there. Like everyone in Japan knows martial arts, and it was amazing to see. You walk around the streets, people stopping, wanting to take pictures, girls crying, like grandmas crying because they just want to meet you, and doing meet and greets there and letting people experience the belt and hold it. Like at first they didn't want to hold it, and then I forced it upon them. Like, no, you need to. This is like an impactful moment, and then they grab it and they just start tearing up and taking pictures and excited, and it was very awesome to be able to pay that back to Japan, who gave birth to MMA and put us on a platform when it was legal here in USA, and just ran away with it with pride and Dream and Ring of Fire and all those organizations that were out there. So to be able to pay back homage for MMA and be an athlete to do that, it was uh, unexplainable feelings, emotions.
That's dope, bro. You're building your global brand too, bro. That's good for you, of course.
Yeah.
How are the gyms out there? I saw you were training at a couple different gyms while you were there, right?
Oh yeah. We had a Crazy Bee, which is Kid Yamamoto's, who he passed down to his sister and his nephew. They welcomed me with open arms, and it was so amazing being able to go there. Because at first I walked in, and they just thought I was someone off the street at first, and because I had a beanie on, I had a hat on, kind of had my hood on. I just looked like I was cutting weight at the time, and so they're like, I was like, "Hey, can I use your gym to work out?" They're like, "Yeah, of course." And then signed a waiver and things like that. They came back to me. They're like, "Hey, you're Juan Archuleta." I was like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "Why didn't you tell us?" Like, I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't like named. That just doesn't resonate." And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, of course! Like, you're fighting in the Rizin versus Bellator. Like, yes, please use our gym." And then it's open arms to you. Like anything you need, please let us know. So Miyu was amazing, which I'm so honored to be able to fight on her with the card with her because it's going to be her last MMA fight. And then her son as well, Ersin, is going to be making his return to MMA because he's been dealing with some injuries and now he's back and ready to go. So to be able to be part of the Yamamoto family and be able to fight with them on my card is it's going to be amazing. It's truly a blessing. And then some of the other gyms, I got to bounce around gym and practice with some of the guys, Shintaro and just so many of my favorite Japanese fighters that I watched growing up were able to be there, and like the lighter weights, and being able to train with them and bounce ideas off them, and like really get to pick their brain on a lot of the jiu-jitsu, the Japanese original jiu-jitsu that got handed down to Brazil, and just the kickboxing, the wrestling, and sharing my part of the wrestling with them. It was truly an honor, and they're excited for me to come back. I'm excited to go back, and I can't wait.
Sounds like it was a great experience. It must have been great. I know you spent like a month out there last year, right? Are you planning to stay out
Yeah.
there a little bit this time again?
If things go as planned, which I plan on it going as planned, which is winning, I will unfortunately only be able to stay out there a week to help promote what's going to happen, because Saki Obara said we'll be fighting again in July, the winner of these, because we're in a tournament. It's a four-man tournament. And so the winners fight at the end of July. So I got to hustle back out here and jump right back into camp.
Who are you expecting to face in the final?
I think Asakura, because he's fighting Montoya, which I think he is very well rounded as well. But I think this is tailor made for a matchup for me to take out my opponent, Inoue, which is he's a great fighter. He's fast, he's quick, he has good grappling. But I feel like I'm just that much better than him, and so Asakura is fighting Montoya, who's a little bit smaller, and I think he and gets the job done. And me and him are going to make a mega fight in Tokyo.
I was going to mention Inoue's speed. He's known for his speed. He's a great grappler too. But how does that affect your game plan or your sparring? I know you said you have been sparring with Danny Silva. How does Danny Silva help you during this camp?
Yeah, Danny Silva's very fast. He's and it's an unorthodox quickness. But I've actually the last 4 weeks have been doing two times a week sparring with Cheeto Vera, who we've been bouncing ideas because we've trained for a long time as well, and he's getting ready to fight Sandhagen. So he's on point and he's super fast right now. So learning those that's dealing to deal with that speed, and a lighter guy than me is very helpful. So that's where I've been starting off these last 3 to 4 weeks, and now we're 9 weeks away, and I've been zoning in now. So it's been good.
Speaking of Cheeto, are you expecting Cheeto to get the job done March 25th in San Antonio, main event?
Oh yeah, of course. I would love to see Cheeto get the victory and bring back the belt to Southern California. And it's going to be fun to watch him. I think him and Sandhagen is a great match. I think he wears Sandhagen down a little bit and gets the finish in the fourth and fifth round. And I'm so pumped for that fight. It's going to be amazing.
So you just signed a 3-fight deal with Rizin, right?
Go ahead.
Did it include the last fight, or is that for this one, the next one, and another one?
Yeah, I believe it's for this year. Kind of because I'm a little bit of a stalemate right now with the Bellator bantamweight class right now, because we have the tournament going on that's going to be finalized in the end of April, and then it's probably going to be 3 to 4 months until Sergio and the winner of them fight, and then leading into that, who knows what happens next? So I don't want to wait around and be stagnant. So this kind of looked like my best option. Like, okay, like go promote yourself, promote Bellator, and go bring back a title. And while they play this portion out in the bantamweight division, then once they're ready, then I hopefully can unify these titles together and do what Kyoji did, Horiguchi, and become a 2 promotion champ, and which I'm looking forward to, man. It's going to be amazing.
How much do you credit your manager, Tiki Gosen, for this connection you've made with Rizin in this new 3-fight deal?
I definitely wouldn't be here and put in this position without him. He does a great job on managing me and making sure that things are falling into our place. He's done it time and time again with the featherweight division, the bantamweight division, and he continues to wow me. It's like, man, Tiki gets the job done. I'm very honored and lucky to have him as a manager and to be right in my backyard to train with them, pick his mind. Him and Paul Herrera, they've been working tirelessly on the negotiation of this part. So, and that's what a lot of it was. Was a lot of negotiation to make this happen with Coker and Mike Kogan, and then with Saki Obara seeing my performance and saying, okay, I think we can use him here in Japan. And Tiki, knowing that I'm such an outgoing person that I made Japan my home. You know, it was like, I'm here, man. Like, this is where I've always wanted to go and compete at. So I'm definitely very blessed to have Tiki push this envelope open and get the job done.
And in addition to Tiki, it's become clear that Scott Coker has put so much trust in you. Saki Bar has put so much trust in you. What does it mean to you to have the trust of guys like that?
Yeah, it's just super cool and like humbling, because it's like you never know what's going to happen with the promoter. You get stuck in and this is not degrading UFC at all, but you get these because they got a good marketing machine, they got a good promotion machine, and the way they do it worked for them. But now some of these guys are stuck, and like you get in a position where I am, and you're stuck, and you don't know like, do I go up a weight? Do I have to wait something out? Do I have to let these play out before I could even get a fight? Because you're in the top 10, you're in title contention, and you don't know what happens. But to have the trust of Saki Abara and Coker say, hey, why don't you go to Japan and this year let the bantamweight finish playing out this year, and then when you come back next year, be ready because you're going to be the man to challenge for that title. So to have that support system there as promoters, it's unheard of. And I'm honored to be making history, right? Like I'm still contracted under Bellator, which is amazing. But then for him to lend me over to Rizin to be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you're gonna fight I already beat their number one guy. Now you got to fight their number two guy, and then you're gonna be fighting for the title. It's like, hell yeah, man, let's do this. So there's nothing like it rejuvenates you, because sometimes you
Yeah.
get caught in a system where you're like, okay, this is repetitive, and then you throw a curveball. For me, it excites people like me because I'm constant. MMA is like great for people who have ADD, right? It's like, man, like, because when you get tired of one thing, you go to the next thing, you go to the
Mm-hmm.
next thing. And similar to promotion, when you fight for the promotion so long, you're like, man, this is just like, it's clockwork and it's a daily job. And then you already know the home court advantage. But now when you get thrown a curveball and you're saying, okay, you're going to Japan and fighting for the rest of the year out there, and you're like, hell yeah, like let's do
Yeah.
it. So that's what's super honoring, and I'm freaking stoked about it.
I gotta tell you, I'm happy for you, bro. I know how much you wanted this. I
Hell
know how
yeah.
much you wanted to fight in Japan the first time and again the second time. So it's definitely
Yeah.
great, bro. Uh, so last fight, great win, good victory. You look good out there. Split decision though. It was probably a little bit closer than you would have liked it to be. What do you plan to do differently this time around to avoid the fight going to the scorecards?
Yeah, I'm excited because I didn't get to put out my best performance out there, and so not putting my best perform like I performed right, like I went out there and got the job done, but there were some things that I had to get used to. The ring, the canvas is a lot different. It's not as padded as the Bellator cage, so you're slipping a lot more. It's a lot tighter and it's a lot less padding on it. So there's a lot more of a slippery canvas. So that was kind of taking me out of my range because every time I went to go explode in, I would slip out and then it would second guess me. And so now knowing that and knowing that, okay, like these are things that are going to happen, I'm aware of it, So, and then not warming up for the fight and just all these things that had taken place, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's refigure out some of the things, and then we'll make the adjustments going into this fight where you just slow things down just a little bit, and then take advantage of the situations that you create, the opportunities you create.
Makes sense. I was planning to ask you about two fights. We already covered one, Cheeto versus Sandhagen. You did mention the finale, Patchy versus Rafion. You told me before, even before the semifinal, that you had Patchy winning. You say he's going to sub this guy is going to sub the next guy. Do you stand by that? And then also, I heard you've trained with Patchy recently. So did you notice improvements? Did you feel like he improved from when you guys fought a couple years back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his whole training camp has improved. His whole mind state of being right there to be a champion, and then it slips through your fingers. I had to go through the similar fire, where I was right there to win it, and then something happens, and you're just like, man, like, what was it? And then you start, reconfiguring out some things, and then you got it, and now he's locked in, and he's put himself around the right people, the right training partners to keep pushing himself and challenging himself and making himself uncomfortable every day. And that's what he was missing when I fought him, is the uncomfortableness of adapting to it. And so now I think he's done it, and now he's not afraid. He could walk people down. He could slip punches, he could punch back, he could throw kicks, he could throw his teeps, and he could close that distance to get the takedown and put him where he's best, where it makes it, instead of a 50-50 fight, now he's at a 75-25 advantage when you start getting someone to grapple with you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. How much would this, I know you've been a champion Bellator, KOTC, 4 divisions, but how much would this Rizin strap mean to you bringing it back home to America?
For me, it's my legacy. Every promotion I fought for, besides the first fight that I had, I've won a championship in. And this is continues to prove my legacy, right? Like, man, like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be a champion in every organization I fight for. And so for me, this is the biggest opportunity of my life to prove to myself and my team, and then to prove to MMA fans around the world that I am a champion. No matter where I go, I know I could be in title contention, and this is going to prove it this year.
What can you say real quick before I let you go? A message to your fans, the ones in Japan, the ones here rooting for you that have been with you every step of the way.
Dude, I just want to thank the fans so much because all the fans had made this happen. I wouldn't be here right now and in this position if it wasn't for the fans promoting it, wanting for me to go back out there and put on another dominant performance and go out there and win another title. So I am truly grateful and appreciative of my fans because they're the ones that made this happen, especially in Japan. They kept pushing and pushing, like we need Archuleta back. We want him back because I know it was kind of like, oh, maybe we'll do this next year and you're going to be part of it. But the fans made such a huge impact on the way they wanted to promote me and Bellator that they had to bring me back as soon as possible. And so it was all up to them, and it paid dividends. So I'm truly grateful for all my fans and the ones out here in America. They're truly supportive. They all stayed up all night to wait for my fight, and then it happened. And they're like, I was so tired, I crashed out after. I didn't get to watch the rest of the card, but we were glad you were first because we watched it and it was amazing. And so the fans were super supportive.
That's so funny because I fell asleep either after I think I fell asleep the fight after yours, so I missed the rest, but I saw yours and I think the one after. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you taking the time as always. I think we got 3 interviews in last year, so I need 2 more in 2023 after this one. All right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking right after this win, and then right after I win that belt, and then talk about what's going next, baby. Let's get it.
Let's go. Juan Archuleta, May 6th, Rizin 42. Tune in. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Be good. Man. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Be good, man.